Okay, guys, is that better? Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, good. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. StreamYard is goofing up again. I don't know what's going on. Um, so I'll go back over what I was saying. Sorry about that. All right. So, Emma Baum, just wanted to remind everybody to keep her in prayer, your family in your prayers as well. Please share her information out there, guys. This story has not been out there for a month. That's a whole month, guys, that I do not understand why some cases just go bonanza and others like this fall through the cracks. It's not fair to the family, and I don't get it. I have reached out to the Gary Police Department. They answered me back. They do have a person of interest in the case. They're not giving out any information, obviously, because they don't want to jeopardize the case, which I totally understand. But they were very nice to me. And they're asking for everybody to send in their tips. The family has been boots on the ground searching since she went missing October 10th, guys. She was 9 months pregnant when she went missing, 1 centimeter dilated already. And so she's probably had her baby by now. So she probably has 4 small children. Her 3 children are being taken care of by family, her other 3. So just asking everybody, I chatted with her brother and they're heartbroken, guys. They're distraught and understandably so. So please, help me get this case out there because they deserve answers, right? All right. And then the reason that we're here tonight is Sebastian, 16 years old, missing since February 25th. From Hendersonville, Tennessee, last seen at his mother's and stepfather's house. And he is our focus. He needs to remain the focus. There's a lot of noise in this case, guys. A lot of noise. So K9 says, it was a crazy night last night. Channels going off right and left. I just want to find Sebastian and bring him home to his dad. Exactly. Yeah, so, when the night started and I kind of watched what was going on. Hello, SRB. I'm not the only one. Yeah, StreamYard has been goofing up on a lot of channels. I've been noticing that. Everything was set right. It was plugged in. Everything was set right. I had to go out and go back in again in order to get it to work. Yeah. The noise was roaring last night. And so, yeah. As I was listening and watching to what was going on last night, at first I was like in shock. I'm just kind of telling you guys how I felt, First I was in shock, like, whoa. And then I was like, And I'm going to tell you what I think. Hello, Dreaming of Blue Skies. Ginger, you were up until 2. Ginger knows I went off and I just watch some of my shows. I had to get my mind off the case because I wouldn't have been able to sleep at all, because it bothered me so much. Here is what I felt like. I felt like this is what happened, but this is where the focus needs to be. And I felt like that was me closing my ears. I couldn't deal with it. Yeah. I had pretty much made the decision last night that I wasn't even going to give this airtime. Right? I wasn't going to. And there was a reason for that. I felt like it was a distraction. I felt like everyone on that video was there for a purpose, and it was to make Chris look good, but it ended up backfiring. And so you're right. I mean, you had to kind of take a step back, and because let me pull it up. But you had to kind of take a step back and think, what's the bigger picture here? What is going on, right? And you had to almost look at it objectively, because it was very difficult to get past all the noise. It was awful, guys. And this is part, and this is kind of funny, and I'm not going to leave it up long, but this is part of what I believe happened last night. Somebody was thrown under the bus. That's what I felt like happened by his own people. I really believe that. But I want to know what you guys thought about it. I really do. I went to a beautiful jazz Christmas concert at a local church today. It was beautiful to listen to. Oh, that's awesome. Jazz, I bet that was wonderful. Whoops. Exactly. Me either, SRB. I don't normally go there. I don't normally watch. But I heard about it, and I did think that there was one piece of information that came out from that could be very damning to Chris. And it was very obvious. Not our cheerleader. Yeah, unfortunately, he was kind of thrown under the bus last night, I think, a little bit. But the fact that Chris's Wi-Fi pinged in the area when Sebastian was missing. Well, if he was in Memphis, why did his Wi-Fi ping? So some information came out that isn't good. Um, Allegedly, law enforcement knows. I don't know. They know now because somebody was watching. Somebody was watching. um, the the one person rattling off the questions had them all listed. It just showed me that it was all set up to happen. It was all set up to happen. There was, just so much said. And so I kind of wanted to go over. You thought he said it didn't ping until the 26th in the afternoon? I think he said that, but weren't they arguing with him about that? The good thing law enforcement and FBI have all this, and I also believe the Nick and Dogs teams are listening, in my opinion. Yes. And so here's my question. I'm going to bring up something that I made today, and I want to go over it with you guys, okay? So we all know that Chris has been silent for how long now? Quite a while, right? He's been really silent. What do you think made him come out now? And SRB, I could be wrong too. I mean, when there's that much noise, it's hard to get everything. And he was backpedaling. Yes, he definitely was backpedaling. He got caught in a lie last night. And they were calling him on it. But what do you think? Tell me, guys, what do you think made Chris come out after being silent for so long? What do you think made him finally come out? Why did he do that after all this time? Because he saw the truth was going against him? But and I get that. Well, yeah, because Truth was a supporter, right? So he felt like, yeah, yeah. I think there's more to it, though. I think that if you ever think about it, when people are being truthful and they have no more to add, they're just quiet. But when their lies start coming out, coming to the surface, then they're going to get louder and try to defend themselves. And Chris was quiet for a long time. But then you had, Nick and Dog have brought quite a bit of stuff out lately, right? And I think the big thing is, going after his private eye, and realizing that, what's going to happen here? I think so. One of his buttons got pushed. And he's running scared. It's my opinion. One of his buttons got pushed. He's running scared, and it didn't help him because things came out that probably shouldn't have come out. And he got caught in a lie. He actually was asked, I don't remember by who, which one of them, and we're not going to mention their names here, guys, but he was actually asked to, why did you say the best thing about it all is that Sebastian left with no evidence, or however he had stated that. He said, no, I didn't say the best thing. Well, if you go back, and I think there was a creator who actually has the clip that of him saying it was the best. I think we all remember him saying that anyway, right? We all remember him saying that. So once again, he tried to backpedal and say he didn't say it, but what he seems to forget is that when you speak things over the internet, it doesn't go away. People can find it. If they want to dig hard enough, they can find it, and it's not an easy thing to do sometimes, unless somebody actually remembers exactly where this was said or that was said. It's not an easy thing, especially when Chris has been in so many people's chats, come up unexpectedly, so they're not in the title or anything like that. So he doesn't, his statements are all over the place, right? So it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, unless somebody has a photographic memory, which I think this one creator did. Oh, that was the other one. Yes. He doesn't know how many CPS reports are against him. I think that was an outright lie, but at least he didn't say, no, there's not 5 against me. He didn't deny it, did he? So, okay, so we kind of figured out him coming out after being silent, buttons got pushed. I think, honestly, my biggest answer to this is he's running scared. That's my answer. So what do you think the whole message of that whole noisy conversation? I just call it noise because that's what it is. It's noise. It's all meant to distract. But what do you think the message meant to portray? Right, Ginger? How does he not know? He would know. Oh, he said that he was never asked to leave the home by CPS. I'm not sure I believe that, because he wouldn't have stayed away that long unless he had been asked. And he had made that statement about Sebastian thought he could get me out of the house. So I'm not so sure that I think he told a lie about that one too. But I could be wrong. That's my opinion. Yeah. Well, the answer. What's the answer, SRB? What was the message meant to portray, guys? What do you think? After looking at all of it or hearing about it, if you didn't, you have no idea what it was meant for. I think that it was created to try to make him look good. Because in the beginning, just for a moment, a split second, Ginger, you got it. That's exactly what I was thinking. His attempt at damage control failed. That's what I'm thinking as well. That's what I'm thinking. Because in the beginning, the way that he was talking, oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In the beginning, for just a split second, when he was talking, I was like, my gosh, she's right. What the heck is wrong here? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I had to sit back and think, because it was so out of character, right? I knew something was wrong. It wasn't it wasn't jiving in my brain. It hurt my brain, and I'm like, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. I have to think about this. And I realized they were hoping for exactly what Ginger said. Where is it? His attempt at damage control failed. They were hoping to do damage control. He was hoping to bring all of his people together to do damage control, kind of sway public opinion. And it didn't work, because what it ended up doing was they were coming at him then. And it kind of it all, and coming at each other. I was like listening to this and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? The walls falling, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. I mean, it was falling as we were watching. And all I kept thinking about was, I'm not going to give this airtime. I'm just not. I'm not going to. That's what they want. They wanted, but it backfired. It backfired. Yeah, bit him in the butt. The whole thing seemingly backfired on the host. Yeah. But he was probably the one being the most truthful. I'm not defending him by any means. It bit him in the butt. Exactly, right? I had to do the same thing. I actually went and watched episodes because Virgin River came out. I love that show. Love Virgin River. And I knew it came out and I thought, oh, this is perfect. I can watch Virgin River and get engrossed in my story, watch several episodes and go to sleep, because I knew what was going to happen. They've asked him that before, dreaming, and he always says he walked out the door, or he'll say, I wish I knew what happened. He's become a ninja. He became what he always wanted to be, a ninja. No, I'm sorry. Sebastian's not a ninja. One of the things that he kept going on about, somebody has to be the fall guy. That's really true. That's really true. Well, from the sounds of it, he was fed up, because here's what was going on, and why they were all going after each other last night to begin with was it came out that they all talked to Chris behind the scenes, or talked to each other. That was very clear. That was made very clear. And in fact, the host and Chris even talked about how he has said those things that he said last night to Chris. Okay, so it that all came out, and so then they started talking about how things that law enforcement told Chris not to let get out were coming out from the group, and things that shouldn't have been said were coming out, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I think he's tired of being a pawn. After a while, wouldn't you be? I mean, I can honestly say, and I never knew, I never really understood or knew. Maybe you guys did. Maybe I just haven't paid attention. But I didn't know that anyone that kind of stood with Seth was considered the green team. The way that I look at things, because I don't feel like I'm on a team, guys. I don't, I'm me, right? And I try to get along with everyone. I don't allow, you guys know, I don't allow people to cut down other creators in chat, no matter who they are. And I'm sure you guys can figure out that there's people that I would not um, probably get along with. Now that you're getting to know me better, right? You would be able to realize who I would and would not get along with, and people that I would not watch, right? And but I won't talk badly about them, because I do believe there's at least an ounce of good in everybody, and we should always try to look for that. But the biggest thing here, in my opinion, is it's not sides. It's about Sebastian. That's where my focus is. And do I look at other things? Yes. But, my focus is always Sebastian. Green team should only be in favor of Sebastian, not sides. Yeah. Thank you, Meow. Good to see you. I think they all get spooked when a dude on X said he was filing a police report against one of the leaders. And I agree. I agree. I think that because that person that they're filing the report on is kind of one of the leaders behind the whole group there, it seems like. And so one of the things that Chris kept trying to say was he just wanted the bashing to stop, right? Why do you think he was saying that? Why do you think he was saying that? Because he was saying that kind of in the beginning when he first came on. Why do you think he really wanted the bashing to stop? I hate the delay that's between chat and StreamYard. It seems like it's forever, guys. So, in my opinion, because of this, and he even did mention court cases and everything else, right? And I think he's scared. Because when Nick says he's going to do something, he does it, guys. And if he feels he's got enough, he's going to move forward. And if you take note of who was around him on the panel, you begin to realize there was an agenda last night. But it all backfired. What do you think the agenda was? What do you think the agenda was, guys? I really want to know. I want to know what you guys are thinking. How many saw the video? If you, sorry, go. If you saw the most of the video, I'll say most of it because I didn't see all of it either. If you saw the video, put a 1 in chat. If you didn't see it, put a 2 in chat. One in chat if you saw the video last night, 2 if you didn't. Hi, Deanna. Good to see you. Try and get sympathy and distract from what is coming out. Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. So most of you all saw the video. To try and get sympathy and distract from what is coming out. Exactly. Exactly right. I mean, it ended up not working out that way for them. More stuff came out that only hurts him. And it may have been the beginning of the ending of, what do we call it? That side. I hate that. But you know what I'm saying. That's a really good point, Deanna. I think they've had enough conversations. The truth is finally realizing that their narrative doesn't add up. Exactly. And see, that's what Chris wanted to do last night. He wanted to try and control the narrative. But what he didn't realize, I think, is he pushed a little bit too hard. It was the last straw. He's his own worst enemy. How many times have we said that, guys? That's a good point. I hate to push people to give them clicks, but you know, it's up to you guys if you want to go see it or not. It was, I guess I'll say it was on Elevated Truths channel. But and guys, I think that there is a lot more going on behind the scenes with this than what we really know. But I think the biggest reason that this came about was to try and control the narrative, to try and make Chris look good. And it ended up backfiring. He ended up getting thrown under the bus, and it didn't help anything. Now they're saying the host is interested in the reward money and talking to LE behind everyone's back. You know, guys, here's my question. Why would you follow someone who would be so quick to stab a friend in the back without any proof? Because that's what's happening here. They were all friends with the host. They were all friends with the host. Now they're turning around and saying he just wants to reward money. Heaven forbid he should have his own mind and start thinking and looking at things critically and saying, this doesn't add up. And that's kind of what he was saying to Chris last night. Heaven forbid somebody could use their own mind and not go with the narrative that's put out there. And why are these people following these people so blindly that would turn around, stab you in the back as quick as look at you? He's definitely changed his perspective from early on. Well, when a narrative keeps being pushed down your throat and you're seeing other evidence to support a different truth, you're going to change your perspective. And everybody has the right to do that. He was being ganged up on today and he still stuck by his thoughts. Well, I think they did set it up for a distraction, but it ballooned into so much more than that. Did I miss that? I thought he said he didn't like Nick last night. Because I think people know something's going down pretty doggone quickly. And here's what was funny to me. Did you guys hear when somebody said something about it being a criminal investigation and Chris said, "So what?" Yeah, so what? He's scared. Exactly. If he does know something, he should. And I'll bet after last night he has talked to Ellie. Yeah, well, he doesn't like Seth. Just because he's pushing back at Chris, I don't think changes his opinion on Seth. Because he's made it very clear. He's trying to say that he's for Sebastian now. So, I don't think he's changing his mind on Seth. Oh, they were grilling. Yeah, I saw that today. I did see that today. Yeah, that might be enough to get somebody to speak, right? If you know that something's starting to turn criminal, if I felt I was in with a group of people and there was some illegal activity going on, trust me, I'd be like, wait a minute here. But I think I would have handled it differently. I think I would just be quiet and then go quietly to law enforcement. Yeah, I don't know. It'd have to be somebody that had really good self-control because I don't think I could deal with that on a daily basis, honestly. And here's the other part of that is that I know like even in the military, spies are important, right, guys? But for me, I'm just not that kind of person. Like I said, I always try to see good in everybody. Um, I'm going to call out the bad, but I'm not going to point fingers or call out people. But I am going to, like I'm calling this whole thing a big noisy distraction that ballooned out of control and only ended up hurting every one of them actually that was on the panel last night and those that were on the panel today as well. Oh, gotcha, SRB. He's always on the panel with gotcha. Yeah, right. And a lot of people, you know, and they have their own opinion. I think a lot of people judge Seth by the few words that he spoke in anger because he was pushed too hard by Chris, in my opinion. A lot of people judged him by that. I wasn't happy he did it either. And if you take that personally, I can understand why you're going to get angry and upset about it and not like him anymore. And I think that's what happened. Exactly. It is so messy. So messy. And honestly, guys, I did not want to talk about it. I felt like I chatted with somebody about it, and I really felt like everyone on the green side and those who are on Sebastian's army side should have just ignored it. Take the bits and pieces that came out of it, you know, for the truth side of things. Take those bits and pieces and, set them off to the side and not really giving it airtime. Because that's what they wanted. They wanted to incite. They weren't trying to. It was a distraction to try and keep people on their side. And I think that more and more people are going to begin to realize that there's something wrong here. There's something wrong. And, I think there's going to be many unsuspecting subscribers that are going to be shocked when everything comes down. I really do. And I feel badly for them because when you believe something and you believe in someone, it's very hurtful and harmful, And I feel bad that that will happen. CP said that he told them things that Ellie didn't want him to talk about. And that was a slap in the face. If I was him, I would have jumped ship last night. He has involved them in a conspiracy. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And if they weren't told that they were supposed to keep it quiet, I'd be really angry. What was going on when it sounded like they were disagreeing, almost sounded like arguing, but they called it a discussion, I believe. I wasn't sure what was happening. At which part? Dreaming? Tell us which part, and one of us will try to answer for you. I think there are some bits of information in live which won't help their cause. Exactly. Next week, Nightbot. Don't rush it. Oh, your birthday is next week. That's awesome. um, yeah, seriously though, what part of the, do you know what they were disagreeing about, or I'm trying to remember. Sound like they were disagreeing, almost like they were arguing. Oh, the day after Christmas. Awesome. Uh, did you get gypped on Christmas gifts because of it, or birthday? I always think of that when I think people's birthdays are right on Christmas or around Christmas, that they get gypped out. I'm just trying to think of what you were thinking about. I forgot what the yelling part was. Yeah. Were you talking about when the host and Chris were going at it, or all of them? Can you imagine how Seth felt listening to everyone while he hid in the bushes and chat? Because you know he was in there, right? I don't think it makes Seth happy at all. I mean, because it's a big distraction. Oh, that's good, SRB. I'm glad. And go back to rewatch it. I wouldn't want to rewatch it. Wasn't the yelling part about the truck? The host and CP. Yeah, that was about the truck, wasn't it? My ex's birthday was the day after Christmas. He hated it because he always got one gift for both. Nobody wanted to celebrate either. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was about the truck. Um and honestly, I because, see, it's my hearing thing. So when people are yelling back and forth and talking over each other like that, I miss so much. It all becomes garbled for me. And so, Ginger, can you enlighten us on that one? Now they want us to focus on CP's truck instead of the mystery car at 3 a.m. Yeah, yeah, I do think so. So was it said that his wife Rye pinged on the 26th, or was, I mean, I know that's what Chris said, but was the host arguing with him about that part? I'm just curious. You came on my panel about the truck, not anything else I said. Right. Right. Yeah, he. Oh, I loved when he said Court TV wasn't a real news station. He wants Dateline to cover it. Honestly, guys, what national news media is going to put any of the parents on right now? They're not. They're not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. They may give a blurb, but they're not going to put parents on. Oh. CP says law enforcement is incompetent because his truck's Wi-Fi was picked up by Ellie when he arrived on the 26th. Well, here's my question. CP before couldn't say enough good about law enforcement. Now he's calling them incompetent? He was praising them before. None of them. Yeah. I don't think any of them, people like Nancy Grace will pick up on it. News Nation, probably, because of the drama. Court TV, Vinnie Politan, they will because they get into a little bit of the drama. But NBC, ABC, national news channels are not going to touch it. They will not. And that's who he was saying last night. NBC, ABC, CBS, those are the ones he wanted. Dateline. Well, Dateline might. I mean, they might go for the drama. Even if they tried. Yeah. LE has not released any of this information. So we have to take CP's word that it is actually true. That's right. Well, and we need to remember what the whole agenda was last night. The whole narrative was to cause a distraction, guys. Take away from what's going on. Right? So, maybe some of the stuff that came out last night wasn't so great. It could all been a distraction. Well, that could very well be. That could very well be. Because he didn't want it out there in the first place. He's saying now he does. But I don't know. I have a hard time believing anything Chris says, honestly. He's been known to lie. He's been caught in lies. So when you catch someone in a lie, it's very hard to trust them again. They have to earn that trust back, and that doesn't come easily, and it's not going to come it's not going to come like this. Not going to come like this at all. But yes, I mean, I don't know, honestly, guys. I'm hoping that something happens very, very soon. That Sebastian is found and brought home. That's a good point, Ginger. Maybe those networks pay more than court TV. He's going to need some extra cash for lawyers' fees. Yeah. Yeah. They don't have a all-inclusive what do I want to say? Court document like the RICO document where they can get a bunch of people under you know what I'm saying, for their side. Everybody's got to pay for their own lawyers. And here's the thing. When Chris was saying, I just want the bashing to stop, stop. And he was talking about for all the parents, if he was saying, think about if it was you, how would you feel? And one of the women on the panel said, except for Seth, I will not. Sorry, not sorry. And I thought, you've got your leader saying, stop it. But you're up there saying, nope, not going to happen. Sorry, not sorry. I'm like, well, okay. I think law enforcement is corrupt. CP is a liar. KP can't keep the lies straight, so she doesn't talk. And SR omits, and I don't know what to think except KP last one with Sebastian should be number one suspect. And I wouldn't doubt if she isn't, Deanna. Thank you for saying that. Everything that is said in here tonight by my chat, my mods, myself is all alleged. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. It's our opinion, not to be taken as fact. We encourage everyone to get out and research this topic for themselves. I'm hoping something breaks soon as well. My fear is too many are putting stock in the whole Trump administration stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't put a whole lot in it. I think that if he does help, that's awesome. But I don't honestly. Yeah. And we like the opinions because it helps to have a good solid conversation, and I don't care if people disagree with me. As long as everybody's being respectful. Because it helps us to keep the conversation flowing and going. And it helps to look at things in different ways. Yeah, I think you're right, Danny. He's going to have his hands full. Right. I agree. And I think that's the angle that Dog is going at. So I think some money will be thrown our way, but more than that, it's not like you're going to have Trump showing up in Hendersonville, Tennessee, saying, "Where's Sebastian?" That's not going to happen. And throw some money towards missing children and, that kind of thing. And that's what's going to happen there, is my opinion. He's got a lot of other things to worry about before he worries about one individual case, right? Not that he doesn't care, because if he knows, he probably does care, right? But I think anybody would have a hard time not caring that this child has been gone for almost 10 months now, right? In my opinion, I love Dog and Nick on the case. I don't buy into a lot they say, but I do believe they're making the mom nervous. Nervous people talk too much. I like Dog and Nick on the case too, because things are happening, right? And, I've tried to make sure I tell you guys that when Nick puts things out there, or even Dog, it's not meant for us. It's not. It's meant for those who are guilty. And they say things in such a way that we may not be able to grasp. I think some of us do, most of it, but we may not be able to grasp all of it. But they know that the guilty person knows what they're talking about. And in my opinion, this is exactly why Chris finally decided to come out of hiding and speak. Did the host last night kind of urge him on? Yes, but I think it was a compilation of all of it together, Dog and Nick, and yeah, I think it was a compilation. But yet I feel that's what they were hoping for. You mean as far as they have hopes for February? Yeah, but I'm hoping that Sebastian's home before then. I hate to think of this dragging out. I believe the things Dog and Nick are saying aren't meant for us. They're meant for the people who know something. Yeah. Chris wants to know from Seth what they know. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Are law enforcement still talking to Chris and Katie? Or are they only talking to Seth now? More eyes and minds. Yeah. That's good news. There's an executive order waiting to be signed that will give LE more powers to go after those that harm children. That's really good news. Yeah, Deanna, some of them I don't get either. Or I'll get like a part of them and then I'll be like, what's the rest of this mean, you know? Um, oh, that's not going to happen, meow. Yeah, that ship has sailed long time ago. Yeah, I don't think they were either, Ginger Girl. Um, and I think that could be part of why Chris is running scared because they're not talking to him like they once were. They kept him close to the vest, guys, and they did it for a reason. They did it for a reason. They had no reason to talk to Seth before. And I don't think Seth understood that, but they had no reason to talk to him because they knew he wasn't guilty. That's my opinion. But now things have changed, and I think that they're getting scared. You can't tell me. So they made kind of fun of the Secret Service being in Hendersonville and the cars and stuff. They kind of made fun on that on the panel last night. And I'm sure they're like, whatever, you know, I don't believe it, and blah, 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 right? But you don't think deep down they're not wondering if it's true? It may take, okay. You think the PI will find Sebastian just like Brian Laundrie's dad found him? He's looking everywhere, CP tells him. So that the PI will get the money? Is that what you're thinking, Deanna? What was that, Canine? Oh, yes, yes, yes. I do remember that one. Yeah. Um, well, I mean, so Deanna, I wouldn't doubt that. Especially if Chris is running short on money and mommy's well has dried up. I don't know, you know. Oh, hey, you're going to get all this money. Um, I do believe that Chris knows where Sebastian is. My opinion could be wrong, but I believe he knows. My hope and prayer is that he's alive. It's my hope and prayer. Um, I did find it funny when they actually came right out and said that Katie's statements change. That's why she doesn't talk. I couldn't believe they actually said that last night. I was like, well, my goodness. That had me laughing. I was like, yeah, mm-hmm. But, so I'm hoping that we can all calm down and not feel like this poor guy on the left. um, and I hope our cheerleaders doing all right. I don't wish harm on anybody, guys. I really don't. Um, all I want is for Sebastian to come home and forever, for whoever did this, whoever is guilty of his disappearance, to be charged in a court of law, that justice will come. Um, and that's for whoever that is, right? I want to see justice for Sebastian. That's my biggest goal. He needs to come home. Enough is enough already. Hello, Rosebud. Good to see you. Um, he has said that more than once, Rosebud. You don't know the whole story. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess a part of me wonders, but I don't trust Chris to tell the truth of the whole story. So then on the flip side of the coin, it's like, no, I don't. I don't want to know your story. I don't want to know your version, right? I think it's because Dog came on just like he did with Brian Laundrie, so now Dog's on Sebastian's. CP is going to point him in the right direction. Yeah. Part of Nick's hints were about a plan that took place on the Friday before he went missing. Yeah. He said something once, and I can't remember what, but it shut everyone up completely for a few. I do vaguely remember that, and I don't remember what it was for. And I am not going back and listening to it. I'm just not. I know, we got 5 days, Canine. 5 days. 5 days to get him home. There was a lot of that piqued my curiosity, honestly. Um, but overall, I saw it for what it was, and that was a big distraction. And the agenda was to try and make Chris look good, and it backfired. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We don't know what KP has told him and his family, and it does seem to be very different than what her family remembers. It really does. It's Yeah, I agree with you, Deanna. I think it got too hard. I think I think overall she's embarrassed of Sebastian, and um I think that Chris didn't make it any easier because of how he talked about Sebastian, calling him an R, and that was noted by neighbors. So, um, yeah, so I think she was embarrassed by him. I think that's why he was always in trouble. Yeah, it was all arranged. It was all arranged, but that's why I do kind of lean toward the fact that something happened. So Rosebud says, I think Truth was being honest, and I really believe he's not on any side but the truth. That panel was not the right people for what he was trying to accomplish with his live stream, in my opinion. Um, but they were all, I agree with you. I think that he was trying to be honest, and I think he's trying to be on the side of truth. I really do believe that, Rosebud. But I will say this, they were all friends of his. Um, and when you have friends like that who will stab you in the back, unfortunately, he found out the hard way, you know, and I can't imagine people that will follow those kind of people. How hateful it is. Yeah. The last CPS call. Yep, I believe that. Yeah, exactly. It gets harder as they grow. I do. I think Sebastian could well be alive, um, but, and he's not a runaway. No one will ever convince me that he walked out of that house on his own. That's my opinion, guys. Um, but I do wonder if somebody did snap. Yeah. No, they didn't hear him out. And they weren't hearing each other out, Rosebud. They were going at each other. So I said, why would you? I mean, I hope he really turns away from people who would treat him like that, but why would you? I, uh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Gotcha. I mean, I'm thinking he could still be alive. Um, but I do think that somebody still snapped that night. That's the only answer as to why they didn't let things play out for Seth to take him. Okay. That's my thought on that. Could be wrong, but that's my thought. Anyway, guys, I hope we don't have another big night like that going on. I haven't even looked to see what's going on tonight. I honestly haven't. I didn't. I'm still so exhausted today from everything last night that you know I can't handle any more tonight. It's just like, oh, let me sleep. I don't want to hear anymore. And I don't know how those involved can sleep, honestly. You know, I'm just a bystander, and but I'm a bystander that cares about Sebastian and about getting him home. That's where my heart is. So standing by and watching all this garbage go on is just exhausting mentally. It's crazy. K9 says, I hold out more hope now than ever. Exactly. Every day. Every day. Yeah. Yeah. That was sad. Well, I want to leave you guys with my grannyism for tonight, which kind of hits home. Some people think that the truth can be hidden with a little cover up and decoration. But as time goes by, what is true is revealed, and what is fake fades away. So the truth always comes out, guys. It's revealed. You can't cover it up, put a little pretty bow on it. It's revealed. And everything that's fake fades away. It's so very true. When I saw that one, I thought, oh, that's perfect for tonight. Yes, the focus back to Sebastian, that's important. And that's what I wanted to really get across to you guys tonight. That all that noise from yesterday, noise, distraction. And it hurt every one of them that were on there last night. Every one of them. Thank you, Rosebud. Truth talked about smaller channels just wanting the truth and no drama, and no one follows that path. Well, yeah, we do. We try really hard, don't we, to keep it that way. Oh, you're very welcome, SRB. That's always been my goal. It's always been my goal. I never wanted to be a drama channel, guys. Never wanted, and I would rather develop this family of people like every one of you that are on here tonight, that are participating, telling me your opinions and sharing and feeling free to share and not being gross or hateful or anything else, right? But that we're just sharing our thoughts, our opinions, and that above all else, our focus is on the victim, who is Sebastian, right? I want to thank you guys for that, because I couldn't do it on my own. I could sit here all night and say what I wanted to say, but if I didn't have each and every one of you in this chat helping me with this, I wouldn't be able to do it. And so if we grow slowly, but that's the kind of family we have, that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. That someday, this channel will be known for being a no drama channel. And those people who are tired of the drama are going to come on over and join us. The side is starting to crack. Yeah. Exactly. They're cracking. Their wall is falling down. Thank you, SRB. I appreciate that more than you know. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I think we've all had a rough 24 hours. Good night, Brenda Joe. So we'll call it quits and we'll end on a really good note. Sebastian, we love you and we want you home. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.